Ladies and gentlemen, a man that changed football for almost a decade. People were living on the Revis Island. It was 1 to 2 year deals. One of the greatest businessmen in the history of the NFL. This upcoming season, he will go into the New York Jets Ring of Honor, All-Pro, Pro Bowl, Super Bowl champion, founder of Revis Island. Ladies and gentlemen, legendary corner, Darrelle Revis. Yeah! What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing, Pat? How you doing, guys?
Hey, I'm good, man. I want to let you know the last time you and I were on something at the same time, you won a fucking ESPY, you know? So I don't know if that's going to happen again for this conversation, but maybe that's the case. We've all been big fans of yours. Western Pennsylvania guy who's gone on to become an absolute GOAT and a king. We appreciate you taking time, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Pat. And I remember, do you remember that play vividly when you punted the ball to me, man?
Well, really.
West Virginia pit.
Yeah.
Backyard ball.
Yeah, I remember.
Backyard ball.
Yeah. Did you guys watch that the next day in film as much as we did? We watched that play maybe 20 times the next. Laser pointers on everybody, Revis. Why aren't you fucking tackling him? Well, I got blocked there. Why aren't you standing? You couldn't get back. You beat, I think, 13 guys on that play, Darrelle. I think you beat 13 guys on that play.
No, it was amazing. It was definitely amazing. I'm sorry you had to be on the back end of that punting the ball, and I have to give credit to Dave Wanstead at the time who drew up the play. He wanted to actually do it during the backyard brawl to spark some energy for us, and actually the play was supposed to be a throwback to Derek Kinder, who actually blocked both of the guys on your team. So. I couldn't, if you remember the play, I tried to pump, and Kinder was, he was a legal man downfield, so I actually couldn't get the ball there. But he made a great block, 2 great blocks on your defenders, and I just ran down the sideline and do the best I could. I was going to try to run out of bounds, but it was a good play.
Didn't you see me coming, though? That don't scare you? I mean, I got blocked, I thought maybe you run out of bounds. I was like 220 at the time. I looked pretty good, I thought. I looked pretty good, Nobody wants. You were amazing. And that tackle by Derek Kinder, by the way, illegal, modern rules. Yeah, sent 2 guys potentially to CTE City. Just would like to let everybody know that. We watched it in slow motion the next day, both of them. Rich Rod asking, "Get up, Ridwan." I believe his name was, and he's like, "I would have if I could have." What are you? Well, I think he was knocked out. I think Kinder killed him, I believe. But you won an ESPY for that, right? Didn't the whole team win an ESPY for that or no?
We were nominated for it, but we actually, I think we came second in the polls, but
that's a shame.
The guy from Boise State, the Statue of Liberty play, the guys won it at Boise State, and credit to him. It was a great play drawn up for them as well, and I think he actually proposed to his. The icing on the cake was he proposed to his wife now.
You had no chance. You had no chance.
I had no chance at all. No chance.
What are you up to these days? It feels like, and I might be wrong with this, but once you were done with football, did you kind of just drift away from the game? Did you feel jaded from the game, or do you just kind of, is this just kind of what you're into, just kind of chilling and away from it all?
For me, it was really the focus on my mental health. I think once you retire, there's a lot you have to decompress. There's a lot of things I tried to get into holistic wise to try to cope with, playing for so long. And I think a lot of guys right now are really, former players and retired players are really focusing on, their mental health, whether there's depression, stress. And I mean, I played in the Big Apple. I played in New York City and Manhattan. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of other things going on. It's a major city, so for me, I just try to step away from the game and really kind of get back into practical living and kind of collect my thoughts and kind of see what the next chapter is.
What was it like when you were in the middle of the Revis Island run there? Because everybody's expectation of you is that you are, hey, If this guy gets one catch, basically, in Revis Island, everybody's going to talk about that. And I know it's not just at the time 16 games. That's an all-year thing, I guess, that's just looming over your head? Like the expectation is what drove you, I assume? Or is that just naturally how you did your business when you were in the league?
Pat, for me, I really being a super fan of football and, growing up to, watch Barry Sanders, the Cowboys doing their runs and, the 49ers, going to college and then actually having an opportunity to play in the pros, uh, you know, I, I was pissed off because as I was coming into the league, there were a lot of talks about, the shutdown corner not existing no more, and I took that personal. I took it to heart, and I remember it was my first Pro Bowl. My locker was next to Champ Bailey's, and I was asking Champ Bailey a bunch of questions like, "Hey, what do I need to do to be on your level?" Basically, and Champ, during that time, just really just passed me the torch and said like, "Hey, young blood, it's your time up. I see the way that you're progressing in the league, and I'm gonna pass the torch to you." And at that moment, I just felt like I needed to basically continue to keep the legacy of the shutdown corner alive. At that point, because there was in the media there was a lot of stuff saying there's no shutdown corners anymore, and then it was actually the league was actually changing at the time, going into a more passing offense type of situation. So, I just felt for me that it was my time up, and I needed to represent all the legacy of shutdown corners, the Mel Blunts, the Deion Sanders, the Dal Greens, the Rod Woodsons of the world, and I just really took it to heart to say, hey, when it's my time, I'm gonna try to shut down anybody that lines up in front of me.
Why is it so much different than everything else? Just athletically, you have to be superior. Intellect, you have to be superior. What is it about the shutdown corner that's different? And why did people assume that was going to be gone from the game whenever there was more passing getting involved?
I really think because it probably gears more to the offensive side of the football in a sense, and offensive coordinators and quarterbacks and receivers and tight ends also can actually have a lot of flexibility in the passing game. I mean, even playing the Patriots, I mean, it was so difficult to actually to play chess with them on the chessboard because, you have Tom Brady at the helm being the general, but also, I mean, we've been in games where, they come out an empty set. And they have so many options, man, to throw the ball. And then actually, when you start, teeing up on that, then they go into a gold line set, and then you got to focus on that. But to really answer your question, it was just really the corner position. It's just really just you have to be a student of the game. I mean, I have notebooks still to where I have my notes in there where I have Terrell Owens and I break them down. I study them. I have Randy Moss where I still break them down. So it's just really being a student of the game and taking time to really break down these guys and break down their tendencies to really have that skill set of being studious. Also, you just got to be very athletic at the cornerback position. I mean, you got to be able to run fast with these guys. It's some of the best players in the world, and at the receiver position, and they're pretty fast, pretty quick, they're pretty strong, and they're smart as well, and they're pretty explosive. So, for me, it was just being very studious at my job and really trying to, make sure I was prepared every Sunday.
Who was somebody, and by the way, thank you for all this insight. This is fucking awesome. Who was somebody, you talked about T.O. and Randy, and, you would be a great person, I think, to get, like, your opinion on this. Who was somebody that you did anybody keep you up? Anybody give you an anxiety or anything like that? Because I know they felt that way about you, right? Everybody, when the Revis Island run was happening, they're like, all right, we got 15 games this year because there's a good chance that the offense coordinator will say, hey, don't even throw it towards Revis, which means, by the way, you still got to be on every fucking play. That doesn't mean that you get to take plays off because they do. But did anybody keep you up, or was it the other way around, do you think?
I think it go both ways. I think I say Tom Brady won from the quarterback position. I would say from the wide receiver position, I would probably say Randy Moss. I would probably say Terrell Owens as well. Steve Smith. I would definitely say Steve Smith. Um, who else can I name? I mean, it's a list of guys, and even if I'm not naming all of them, I have the utmost respect for all of them because, the difference between all of them, I call it superhumans. We were superhumans. We have, if you're playing against Steve Smith, he's not as tall as Randy Moss, which Randy Moss is about 6'5.5". So, when you're dealing with certain guys, certain receivers, they come with, a certain gift. And, Steve Smith was more so explosive, fast, kind of like a bulldog in the sense where if he got pissed off, man, he'll blow right past you in the route. So, you just got to respect everybody across the board. I will always say, my fellow draftee in 2007, Calvin Johnson as well. I mean, tough matchups I always had to go up against week in and week out, and some of those games I came out where, I'm looking at it as like I just shut this person. Like, how did I do that? In a sense. But I actually, the only thing I can give credit to is just, great game plans by the coaching staff, and also, sticking to the game plan and really seeing it through and really executing as best as I could, and along with my teammates. And we were able to do some great things. I think we had like the #1 defense and also the #3 defense, the New York Jets, during the heydays in 2008, 2009, and 10 and 11. So we just had a great group of guys who came to work every day and was ready to, really focus in of what tasks we had to do.
You'll be going into the Jets Ring of Honor this season. Well deserved.
Yeah.
Well deserved. And I assume all those wide receivers that got a chance to visit Revis Island also share the same sentiments about you that you just talked about, superhumans and all of those things. Whenever you talked about the defensive coordinator and a great game plan, as an outsider, as somebody who maybe doesn't have the best football IQ whenever it comes to like guys that played in the league and shit like that and watch film for a full-time living, I assume the game plans were, all right, 10 of us got shit to do. And then Revis, you're just doing this. Was that not what it was? Was it not just like, hey, you're taking their guy, you got that guy? Or was there more to it that maybe a noob would not fully understand?
I think when Rex actually when Rex Ryan was actually hired, we had a meeting. We had individual player meetings, and I think our meeting, I can say, and this is inside, the facility. But
Here we go.
Rex sat me down and just, basically just kind of said like he believes that I'm the best corner in the NFL at the time, and he's going to help me strive to be that in a sense. And that was basically our kind of meeting and our conversation. He said I would stick out on the film every time he would watch it during the practice films and stuff. And I got to give credit to Rex Ryan's defensive scheme to actually, kind of highlight, me as being a cornerback and me being one of the best defensive players, try to be one of the best defensive players in the league at the time. And it was great. I just felt like I took on that task. I didn't really want to because I felt we had a lot of pieces on the defensive side of the ball that we can actually I can just play one side, I can play the left side, and then we had Antonio Cromartie as well. It was a great corner at the time, and we just had a great CB tandem. So I didn't really think that I had to really travel, but when it came to nut cutting time, and we had to win games, and we had to make some adjustments, and we had to move some chess pieces around, and then it kind of isolated me to be on one side or the other, and the other 10 guys would actually, it gave Rex Ryan ability to blitz and do other things in his scheme, which guys, I think my teammates really loved at the time because it made the game a little bit more fun for us, and everybody would do their job, and we would rock out.
It sounded like Rex Ryan was like the guy who would empower all of his players. It sounded like he did the exact same for you. I got a chance to do some ESPN with him. The green room talking to him off air was fucking awesome. I mean, I wish I could have played for him, to be honest with you. I think I would have enjoyed the hell out of it. We're talking to Darrelle Revis, founder of Revis Island, and you talked about being the number one defense there for like 5 years with the Jets. Do you still, you're going in the Jets Ring of Honor, do you keep in touch with the Jets organization? How do you feel about where they're at right now, and what do you think about the future?
Yeah, I think, I built so many relationships within the organization. So at this point, I think, I'm an alumni, I'm an ambassador. So I think for me, it's just representing, the organization is to my best ability, which I've been doing. But yeah, I stay in contact with a bunch of people in the building, and we don't know what the future entails. I mean, we got a lot of things going on. We spoke about the Ring of Honor. Woody Johnson, we had an interview with Woody Johnson, Mark Sanchez, Nick Mangold, and also Brickashaw Ferguson. So, Woody came by to just really congratulate us on all our success. So, sky's the limit, in terms of maybe some of the things, we can talk about in the organization moving forward, if I'm actually going to be a part of that, if not. But my most important thing is, I love the game of football. I'm real passionate about it, and I love winning, and that's the biggest thing. I really love winning, and if we can turn some things around in that building, which I have a lot of respect for everyone in the building, from the scouting personnel, from everybody in the executive positions as well. For us to really, make a change. It's time to make a change for the New York Jets in a lot of positions, in a lot of ways, and I think we all believe that, the quarterback position is the most important. And, right now at the moment we have Zach Wilson, and, there's very high expectations for him as everybody else on the team. But, we just feel that, it's our time to strike and hopefully, build a championship team to where we can win our second Super Bowl.
Tough division. Hey, tough division. Hey. Revis.
No, very, very tough.
That's a tough division. That's a big city.
Yeah.
Tough division right there. Hopefully they're able to turn it around. You said you still love football. Are you coaching? Do you keep in contact with any of the DBs that are in the league right now? And is the shutdown corner still a thing in the NFL? Who did you pass the torch to, you think?
I believe there is still shutdown corners. Yes, I still pay attention to the games, and when the fall comes around, and I watch games. I pick and choose what games I watch, but I believe there's a long list of guys that are really great. You have Jalen Ramsey right now. You have Stephen Gilmore. He won the Defensive Player a few years back, playing for the Patriots. I've been close with Stephen Gilmore, even when he was with the Buffalo Bills. So, really good guy. You have Howard down here in Miami. There's a lot of guys that you have Ward. you have Ward in Cleveland Browns. So I do pay attention. You have Jair Alexander in Green Bay.
Here we go.
So you have a lot. It's a lot of good guys out there right now that are really representing the position very well. And I love to watch them play. I love ball, man. So. Especially as a DB, and when you're out on the island and it's one-on-one, and those guys know as well as me, man. It's a very tough task. It's a tough job, and they're doing a great job. They're doing a fabulous job of representing the NFL. They're doing a fabulous job of representing the position as well. So much success to all of those guys.
Hey, TV kind of fucks it up though. Somebody's getting blamed for a bomb that isn't necessarily a DB's fault or a safety's fault or a coverage's fault. Is that something that even you? Now, I'm going to say this, and it's going to cause an argument somewhere, but it shouldn't. Like, you are what, Mount Rushmore corner in the history of the NFL? I'll say it. You don't have to say it. You do your thing. Mount Rushmore corner in the history of the NFL. When you watch some of the games, do you have any idea whose fault it is whenever shit happens? Or is that something that only inside the team you think would know?
If you watch a game and you see the ref go like this here, the touchdown. Yeah, you can kind of really, if you look at the replay, you can kind of really see like the mistake or the error or miscommunication at times, and obviously that's for a DB coach, that's probably the worst feeling you can have, walking off after the field goal, and you walk to the sideline and the DB coach is like, "What happened?" And you got to have that type of communication of, well, they were in the 3-by-1 set, and the third receiver, he did a shake route. He did an out and up and shake route in the middle of the field, and maybe the linebacker or safety bid on it, and he scored a touchdown. So, yeah, those are the that's the inner workings of the games. But all you can try to do is make adjustments. But those are the plays where those are nightmares for you, where you think about them or you try to readjust them in the future.
When I said you were the Mount Rushmore corner in the history of the NFL, was that uncomfortable, awkward? Do you hate that conversation? Because I feel like, and I'll dive into this a little bit. So in the sports, day-to-day sports media world, okay, there's this conversation. Once you become like unbelievably good, and it's recognized that everybody thinks you're really good, then all anybody does is pick apart why you're not the greatest. So they stop complimenting people once you get really good, and it becomes why you're no longer the greatest and somebody else is the greatest. Your name gets caught up in that conversation all the time on the internet. I don't know how tapped in you are about corners in the history of the game. Do you appreciate the fact that you're in that conversation? And is that something you take very personal if people say that you aren't because of how much you gave to the game and how much you were able to accomplish?
Sometimes, it's like you're a folklore, or it's like a myth because of the dirty work that you had to actually do to be successful. And I mean, at one point that was our DNA. I mean, everybody on Sunday knew that. And then at the time, fantasy football was actually coming into play. It was just created in a sense. So, I was kind of I don't know if you want to say the Darth Vader of fantasy football, where
that's a great nickname. Do you have that as a shirt? Darth Vader?
No, I don't have it as a shirt. Not yet. I might make a shirt and send you one.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, that's a great shirt. The Darth Vader of fantasy football.
True.
Darrelle Revis.
Well, yeah, because a lot of fantasy football, players would, they would actually sit their receiver down during that week if they had to play against the Jets defense. So, and then in the off season when you go places, you would hear it like, I had to sit my receiver down, and when we played you guys or whatever, and at that time I just think I kind of said the folklore thing, but I was in the era where it was technology involved, and there was a lot of stats where you can really focus on DBs, pass attempts. I mean, pass attempts are thrown to them much more. The quarterback ratings at the time, yes. Which is still going on to this day. So, I mean, if you're ranking me in a certain way, I was kind of the starting point of all of those kind of stats really showing up, and a rest with the other guys as well. And those things still live on to this day. I know records are made to be broken and such. And I think, sometimes when you retire and you have to play back everything in life, and you hear certain things that you were so in tunnel vision, you hear some of the accolades, and, I think there's a fact that I was the greatest season for a cornerback of all time in 2009 and stuff. So, once you start to hear these things, you have a sense of pride, and you're proud of it. But the ultimate thing for me was to win championships. I won a state championship in high school.
5 tuds.
To win one at.
Hey, you had 5 tuds in that thing, didn't you?
Yeah, it's still a record in So it's for me, I think, the high school program I come from, Aliquippa High School, which has Mike Ditka, which has Ty Law, who has Sean Gilbert. We have a lot of other players. I'm sorry if I'm missing anybody's name. But yeah, I mean, there's a sense of pride even from my high school to to actually, win championships. And I wanted to do it with the New York Jets as well. I think that's why I believe they drafted me in the first round, because, the winning attitude I would bring to the organization. And that's what it was really all about for me, is just to win big. And I had an opportunity to win one with Tom Brady and the New York Patriots, Super Bowl 49. And that was a dream come true, for me, in the sense of just all the hard work and actually being a rival to him so many times and losing to him so many times.
Yeah, we all did, pal. We all did. Yeah,
it's so many nightmares. I still have some to this day. Like, I missed the interception. I tipped it or whatever. But it's so hard to pick Tom Brady off. And I had so much fun, battling and trying to be two lions and trying to bring the best out of each other as best we could. So when you talk about the Mount Rushmore stuff, I mean, if people want to put me in that conversation, it's incredible. If people have different opinions, they're entitled to their opinion. That's fine as well. I think my resume speaks for itself in a sense, and I'm really proud for all the experiences, everything I could possibly do when it was my time.
You're an absolute legend, dude.
Yeah.
That was an awesome answer, by the way.
Thank you.
I want to that was a real.
Thanks.
You do a lot of TV or no?
Not really.
Why, you hate
Not
them?
really.
You hate them? They talk shit on you?
No.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like.
No, I think I don't know. Like I told you before, I'm kind of just decompressing. I think now I'm getting my funk back. I'm getting my flow back, and I don't know what the next chapters will be for me. I think there'll be a lot of opportunities and options for me. So I just got to weigh them out and really, I got to look. I just met Sir Charles Barkley the other day in the airport, and we exchanged numbers and everything. And the first question he asked was like, "Hey, do you play golf?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I suck." You know what I'm saying?
We all
I play
do.
a little bit, but I suck.
We all do, man. I'm happy you got your funk back, dude. The sport is better. Okay, we'll be better for it. I love seeing ex-players, because you're not the only one that leaves the game, because most NFL guys, let alone Mount Rushmore guys, most NFL guys, whenever they leave the game, it's the first time where it wasn't their decision. It's the first time ever that maybe somebody said no more. It's the first time ever you're away from the game and everything. So a lot of guys go through that. I'm fucking pumped you're out of it. Hey, I'm pumped you're out of it, dude. This is good news for everybody. You deserve to be celebrated, though, too, for all your fucking work. Listen, I don't want to say this too much to you. Massive fan. I mean, you ran right fucking by me on the ESPYs and on Thursday Night Football, but massive fan of your work, man, because the amount of hard work that had to go into that. Everybody just sees the Darth Vader of fantasy football. Everybody just sees, oh, they're not going to throw the ball this way. But if you're off one of those plays where there isn't a plan, somebody's going to try to get something on Darrelle Revis, quarterback, wide receiver. So you just having to live up to your own hype every single week, the amount of work and stress. I'm happy you're going to be able to be celebrated, pal. Very happy for you, man. The boys have a couple questions for you. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead, Ty.
Darrelle, you mentioned kind of seeing the game change to a more offensive style during your career, and we see all these receivers come in now and it seems like have 1,000-yard seasons their rookie year. Do you think it's harder for cornerbacks to play now than it was maybe like 10 years ago?
I think it's more challenging. Yes, for a secondary to play the position, in the sense of, there's always rule changes. The pass interferences, even though, I think a little bit on my way out, I was deciding to retire. There was always questions about, the pass interference rules and how can we best play, receivers across the board. So, it's very tough. They're very strict with certain things when it comes to the pass interference rule. But, you're right. I mean, even of all of us on here, I think, of us being fans of the sport, I think, we watch Barry Sanders carry the ball, 30, 40 times a game. You've seen Jerome Bettis, carry the ball 30, 40 times a game. And the 10-year gap of that, of being now a passing league and guys, I tell you what, every team needs depth in their secondary. I mean, you need
6 to 7. They're saying.
Yeah, you need a lot of depth. I remember even playing, for the Jets and under Rex Ryan, and And we stacked our secondary. We had at least about 13, 14 guys within our corners and safeties within our DB room because and some of those guys played their role. They played special teams as well. But we had packages on defense where we might have 6 or 7 DBs actually on the football field. So this would give us a lot of ability to be able to blitz from either side of the field. We can disguise a lot of things on defense and just really go from there because we looked at it as, hey, we got guys that can lock down across the board, even our nickel back, even our dime back. We got guys that can lock up. We had Jim Leonard, who's obviously the defensive coordinator at the University of Wisconsin. So I hope he becomes a head coach very soon. We had guys like Jim Leonard who knew the defense in and out. We had great guys who just came with their hard hats on, and we were ready to lock up and play hard. And our front seven was really great. We had David Harris. We had some other guys, Calvin Pace. We had Bart Scott as well.
Yeah, once again, you're going to miss some guys, but you love everybody. You've said this before. Yeah.
So overall, man, we just looked at our defense and say we need at least we had about 14 guys in our DB room. So and it's in today's game, you need to stack your DB room because it's a passing league now. I mean, quarterbacks are throwing 60, 70 times a game. The stats are nuts. You see David Carr in Oakland. I mean, he's throwing for 400 or 500 yards. So, I mean, you got to stack your DB room up.
Las Vegas, they're going to be pissed you said that. I mean, Las Vegas Raiders, they're going through a lot of shit right now. You staying there in Oakland will be right at the top of the list. Last question here. We can't thank you enough for your time. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Darrelle, you mentioned you still have a lot of friends in the Jets building. Have they reached out to you to kind of mentor Sauce Gardner at all? Just because, they took him at number 4 overall, and he's a bigger corner, but obviously there's no one better to mentor him than you.
Yeah, we spoke. I spoke to Sauce once he got settled. I think it was about a week later after he was drafted, 4th overall. So, yeah, we have each other's number. We just going to continue to, communicate as best we can. There's a lot of other DBs on the Jets in the Jets secondary who's reached out as well. So, for me, it's really just kind of. I think this is a new phase for me. It's a new role for me as well. Is I'm trying to, figure out maybe my next chapter in life and things that I'm doing. But for the most part, yeah, we have I think the relationship is going to begin. It's going to start, and it's going to continue to build on the relationship.
You see this? Huh? I'm ready to. You see that?
I see.
Huh?
I see you.
Yeah? You see my bail technique, too. I mean, that's the fucking game. That's the game. How much of your game, how much did you focus on jam? Was that massive on every single piece? Was that the biggest part? Did you train boxing in any of that? Did you do anything for your training that we wouldn't expect?
Yeah, Pat. I've done a lot. Over my career, I've done a lot of kickboxing. I think that was probably the main thing, was really kickboxing and hand placement. As you're actually jamming guys. I tried to dabble in a little karate a little bit, but for the most part, I think kickboxing was kind of my main priority and my main gig in that sense of just really trying to hand placement, and that was my strength. I think my weakness was playing off coverage, but the insanity of us trying to reach perfection is. I've worked on a lot of off-man coverage as well, to where I can disguise in a lot of ways when I'm playing off. It's probably too late for you to figure it out. It's probably 3rd or 4th quarter, and it's probably too late. The game's probably all over. I probably worn down your receiver so much by playing press coverage that it's too late to even figure out the tail. So. I think my strong point was playing press man coverage, and really just getting in the receiver's face and really just challenging him all the way throughout the game.
Did you talk? Did you talk at all, or were you super quiet on Revis Island out there?
I never really talked trash because you know why? I felt that it was too much energy to waste. It was too much at the time, and if someone started to jar with me or talk trash to me, then I would speak up and say whatever I had to say. But for the most part, I kind of just really focused on my technique and really. I mean, these guys they're not easy to cover. I mean, they're really not. I got to give them a lot of credit. I mean, we're backpedaling backwards sometimes, and they're running full speed at you.
16, 17, 18 miles an hour.
Yes,
You're backpedaling.
Yes.
And that's just hysterical. Yeah. And then, by the way, they can break off at any point, and you have to. Are your feet fucked?
Not really. Not really.
Anything?
You know what? Because
anything in the body?
Well, my lower body malfunctions all the time. I tell you that.
It doesn't operate how it's supposed to.
You get Charlie horses and you get things like that every once in a while, but you deal with that on the day-to-day sometimes. So yeah.
Well, thank you for your contribution to the game. Thank you for coming on here. Can't wait to see more of you, hopefully, around. And you're the best, man. Enjoy your Tuesday.
Oh, thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the founder of Revis Island, Darrelle Revis. Thank you, buddy.